Hi Nara, how are you doing?
Yeah. So, how is it going?
Good, good.
And basically, happy Independence Day to everybody.
Yeah, happy Independence Day to everybody, right? And thank you so much for joining me today evening. It's great to have you here, and I'm really looking forward to going through your pictures. And yeah, so guys, thank you so much for joining me today evening. So before we start, I'm going to give you a little bit of introduction of Nara. So I know him since quite some time as a nature and landscape, seascapes, and wildlife photographer, and uh, that's what he has been doing since quite some time. And apart from nature photography, he also takes a lot of environmental portraits for photographing culture of different places. And he worked in an IT company for quite some time, and then he quit, and now he has a startup. He has a startup called Salt Tree, and it's for fine art archival printing. So maybe he can talk a little bit about that. So I welcome you, Nara, once again. Thank you so much for joining us. So please let us know a little bit about your life journey as a photographer.
Yeah. Thanks for the introduction. Basically, I started my thing as a maybe a 20, 10, 15, 20 years back. At the time, I was using a normal point shoot camera, point, and that was mostly a film camera, not even that was digital was just starting, but I didn't. Digital was too intimidating for this SLR, all these things. So as a travel photographer, I started. I borrowed one of my Olympus camera from my friend. It is also a point shoot with a good zoom, so I was using that. Then during one of the travel, I think in Taiwan, when I was visiting, I got a Kodak bridge camera. I think I don't remember the series, some bridge camera. That was something. It was really attractive. The price was attractive, and it was easy to handle so many things. So that is
Okay.
where I started into the digital. And from then on, actually with that I was using for quite 2 3 years. Then slowly moved into the SLR and like that. That is the way I started. But basically, even before using this camera, I was more interested in reading photography books. I was regularly reading Nat Geo magazines and a lot of Steve McCurry books. I was very much impressed by the way he takes pictures like that. Actually, that is, I should say, that is one of the things which made me to really explore the camera part. So that is the way it started.
Okay. And what kind of photography you have been doing over the years?
Travel. From travel, I started getting slowly into the things like a landscape or a wildlife like that. But maybe last 4 5 years, even I don't consider myself as a wildlife photographer. I would say it's a mix of, I would say, a
Itu.
landscape or wildlife. Basically, it's a nature photography. That's what I would say. Because the kind of wildlife photography I do, I don't use too much of tele lens, or
Okay.
I don't go behind the shutter, FPS, all these things. So it's a mix of things.
Okay. Great. So okay. So, have you been trained in photography? Do you have any formal training in photography?
I am basically a self learner for
Okay.
so it's all reading the books and going with the people. I've been with many people who during the street photography or wherever it is, I get tips from some of the mentors. All these. That's the way I started. So I never had any formal training. Only one training which I did is sometime in after maybe after some years of working, I thought whether I'm really learning a right way or something. I had my own doubt. So at the time I joined Kalyan Verma's 2 day workshop.
Okay.
Possibly that is only maybe a formal training I could say.
Okay. Great. Okay. So, Nara, I can't wait to go through your pictures. And so let us go through the pictures. And then in between, I'll ask you a few questions related to them or maybe related to your life. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So I'm just going to share my screen. You should be able to see your pictures.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is taken during in the Gurnong Lake. This is one of my. I really like this picture for one of the main reason is we took this picture something around 4 to 5 o'clock in the early morning. So first thing is before going to any details, I would like to thank our Ishwar. I hope he is also in the meeting.
He's here.
TPS.
Nara, 1 second. Sorry to interrupt. Your voice is breaking a little bit. Can you bring the mic a little closer to you or something?
I think. Okay.
Guys, just let us know if the sound is clear or not. Okay, so if you find any difficulty, please just let us know. Yeah, please continue.
Okay. First, I like to thank our Ishwar of TPS.
Yeah.
I think he, during one of the trips, he especially got a permission to go very early morning into this area. It's basically an RV area, you know that. So we were about around 4:30. We reached the spot, and sun was just coming up behind, and it was a fantastic flow. So I used a leaf filter, and basically I think it is around 13 seconds exposure, or even not a very long exposure, something around 10 seconds or something like that. I think I remember. So the way the whole place was a kind of a brightness, glow, the snow. I would say this is one of my personal favorites.
Yeah, I love this picture, and this is a great start. So it looks like a very wonderful moment. The cloud is just clearing up, and it looks so very beautiful.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's really fantastic too. I think to feel this place, the cold weather, the wind, that is a real something we have to see from the overall thing, which we cannot bring back in the photograph actually.
Right. So Nara, when you go to a place like this, so what is your approach? Do you look around and find the right composition, or you just keep shooting to see the composition? What is your way?
Possibility. When I was in the initial days of photography, it was like it'll be moment I reach, the moment I get out of the vehicle or the car, or moment I see, I start taking the pictures. It is a kind of, that is the way we all grow. But nowadays, my photography has slowed down a lot. Possibly in this, for example, for this photograph, the light is coming very fast. So I was very quick in getting this picture, because after this, we don't get this light. So after some 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we don't get the same flow. But otherwise, I am a very slow photographer. It takes a lot of time for me to create work, composition, all these things. Maybe I go there, sometimes I spend some time. If I am able to get some idea or some kind of a lighting, which is giving me interest, then only I start working on the photograph. Otherwise, if I am not able to get any idea, anything, any creative things, then I just leave it at that point. Possibly I come back and go somewhere else or something. This is the way almost for the last few years I am working in the whole of the landscape pictures.
Okay, and what kind of processing would you do to a picture like this?
My processing, it will be, I would say cropping is the most important thing I will do. Okay, mainly. Then apart from the cropping, the color corrections, more than the color correction, we have the horizon straightening. That will be the first step, I should say. Because in most of the cases, whether you use a tripod or even with the handheld, sometimes this horizon will be tilted. So the first step even in a landscape or even in a wildlife, I look is a horizon, whether it is a correct or not. Then I will work on the cropping, what kind of a cropping we should do, like that. Whether it's we want, sometimes I do multiple cropping, whether it's a 3:2 or a square or something, and which then after this, then I go to the other things like basic white balancing, and then to the little advanced steps like dodging, burning, selective cropping, like dodging, burning, or applying ND filter if there is a need, or vignetting, all these things. This is a typical flow I do. And most of the time, my processing will take a long thing, because the moment I take this photo, when I copy into the hard disk, I don't start the processing on the next day or something. Sometimes it will take 2-3 weeks. I want to get out of the hangover of the travel. Then I review the pictures. Then I select which one I want to do. Then I do a basic level of processing. Then I leave it. Maybe after 1 or 2 days, then again I go back and see whether I can do something or I just leave it. Something like that. It will go in a very staggered way. This is the way I work.
Okay. And what do you do to the rest of the pictures?
It will be in my hard disk because now what I am feeling is our post-processing softwares are improving very much. Some of the pictures which you may look a little out of focus, maybe the new software can do a lot of things to bring back the focus. These are all some things which we do. So I don't throw away my pictures. I keep it. Yeah, it takes a lot of hard disk space, but that's okay. We may be getting some interesting thing after a few years. We don't know how the whole thing will go. So it will always be in my hard disk.
Oh, such a beautiful picture.
This is from Mahabalipuram. But it is maybe around 5 o'clock in the early morning. This is something, the sun is, you can see the sun at the end, a small reddish thing, ball is coming.
Right.
And one of the interesting thing is, I think I went 2 days back to back. I think on Monday and Tuesday, I think. It was in the Mahabalipuram near the Shore Temple. Behind the Shore Temple, there is a small hill kind of a thing. I had to just climb and go down. And you will see a lot of beach, all the fishermen folk, so many things will be there. So at that place, I was taking that. And in both the days, there is something, it was a misty, it was sometime in Feb, I think. So Chennai has a certain mist was also there in Chennai. And the sun is coming. I got everything was perfect. So I was able to go for a very long exposure to bring the shining of the water. So because of this is basically a beach. So when you go for almost 3 minutes exposure, you can see everything gets cancelled out. You only see the kind of a misty, rocky area. And maybe I would say a sad part or something, after I posted it and a few of my friends also wanted to take, almost after 2 weeks when we went back to the same place, we did not see this landscape. We did not see the rocks. Possibly at the time, I think the sea has come much closer or it dropped down or something. We don't know what happened. But after this, I'm not able to get the same rocks or anything like that. The big rock you will find, but the small rocks you don't find in the same place. So sometimes you have to be lucky. That's all in nature. So, and this is one of I think I was lucky in a way.
Yeah, really beautiful and very unconventional shot of Mahabalipuram. Generally, people would shoot the Shore Temple and other stuff. So really, very nice.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right. So did you plan and go for it, or you went to see other things and then you shot this?
Actually, I want to do early morning, some sunrise, some exposure. That is the way I went. But I never thought I would get this kind of a picture. But I was not planning for any architecture or temple photography. That was not my idea. I want to do some seascape. That's the way I was very clear on it.
Okay. So before you go to a place, so you already decide, okay, this is what I want to do.
Sometimes, Saurabh, it cannot be always. Okay. But as you know, I am mainly to either on this kind of a seascape or something. So, or a landscape, or if it's when you go for a sanctuaries, we know wildlife, something like that. So sometimes we know what is the journey we are going to take. But only thing is, in this kind of, say for example, beach, I still sometimes take portrait also. If I see some local people who are very interesting facial features or the light is good, I'll ask them whether I can take a picture. If they are okay with that, I will take that. That kind of things also happen. But within this only, I always work on that.
Okay. Great. Oh, this is such a magical picture.
I think this, I really love this because of the golden glow. This was taken in Jim Corbett. Actually, this was taken from a jeep because in Corbett is a national park, so we cannot get down from the jeep. Early morning, we were actually looking for a tiger. Mostly tiger, we were expecting some tiger crossing the grassland. So we were just going in around. So what happened was we were in the Corbett for almost 3-4 days. First 2-3 days there were no mist and there were no tigers. Even we are not able to see much of the elephant movement. We were just going around here and there, taking some birds, something like that. I think this was on a Sunday, the last day, where on Sunday after maybe at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, we'll be checking out. That's our plan. In the early morning, on the day, it was mist was suddenly started to move. Suddenly, the whole place was filled with so much of mist. And it must be around 7 o'clock or 7:30. Still, because of the January, sun is rising little late in this area, and you are able to see the golden color, and the mist is making the mist is also getting heated up. So this is something a very magnificent thing of the process. And this was taken with a Pentax medium format camera, so you get both a lot of sky also.
Very nice. So even when you go for wildlife photography tours, you have a focal length which is good for landscapes as well, is it?
Yes. I keep normally what I do is I go for I'm basically a Nikon user, so I will always have a 24-120 that kind of a wide angle lens. Apart from that, I'll be having a zoom lens. Nowadays, I'm using 200-500 Nikon lens. Earlier, I was using mostly the 500mm. So this 200-500 gives me a good composition for those kind of things. I'm not nowadays using my 500mm. It is almost even sometimes I don't actually use it. It will be in my Jeep or something. Apart from that, I also for all these things I also used to carry my medium format camera 645 Pentax 645. So it has you will be having one wide angle equivalent to 424-70, and we also have one tele lens. So I use both depending on the situation.
Great. So, you said you have two lenses, one prime 500mm and 200-500. That's what you use more. So, how do you choose which one to use, and what are why did you decide to buy this 200-500 when you already had that lens?
Good question, Gaurav. It's something I want to even give a little brief on everyone now. See, 500mm is a fantastic lens. I have a 500mm F4, so that's a superb lens. It's a very fast focal lens. You get the kind of pictures it creates is very good. The challenge with 500mm is it is good for a close-up, or you cannot compose too much with a 500mm because in a wildlife. Most of the time you cannot go near the subject, or you cannot plan your composition. So 500 actually is stopping you from a composition point of view. This is what I started realizing at one point of time. When I was in the earliest stage of wildlife photography, I was a fan of 500. I take it. Even when I remember when I was buying 500 in Chennai, I went with one of my friends to buy that. We went with a Maruti 800 car. The 500mm was 4 lakhs, Maruti 800 was 2 lakhs. That is the kind of thing we were doing that. I was very happy with the kind of the lens I have. I really enjoyed it. But after maybe 5 years or something, I started using. I find 500mm doesn't suit my kind of work. That's what I feel, because I cannot do much of the composition with the 500mm. You can just you can do a fast moving. You can take when some tiger is running or some cheetah is, you can do very good focus. You can do that. But the problem is I am starting getting into the working on more towards composition, how to work on a different artistic value, those kind of things. Then the 500 become a headache for me. That is where when Nikon introduced the 200-500, I got into that. I really enjoy that because it gives me a 200mm zoom to 500mm.
Right.
So I can place the subject wherever I want. I can work on the so many things.
So and you think it is okay to compromise with a little bit of aperture that you are losing?
I think there's nothing wrong with it. See, for most of the mammals, if you are very much only focusing on a bird photography, even you should even 800mm, 600mm, 800mm is the only thing you can go, because people who do bird, they want a very close up. It's a very tiny like that. But for us, I don't do so much of bird photography. So And this is from Talcha, I think from Tomori, like this is from Tomori. Basically, what I have done is, this is also from early morning. We took this. Again, as you know, in the Komori in the mornings you will get a fantastic lighting.
Right.
I don't remember the time. What time? Early morning, maybe 5 o'clock or even earlier, because sunrise happens very quick earlier in Ladakh. So I used a very long exposure. That is a 5-second exposure. I think I am using a Lee or a Nisi. I don't know which filter I was using at the time. Then apart from that, I also added a graduated ND filter. That's why you could see both sides a kind of a little darkened. That is
Right.
that happens because of that is basically the sky is creating that, the cloud is creating that kind of effort. When I added the ND filter, it enhanced the whole thing. So
Right.
this 5-second exposure gave the sufficient lighting and the glow. I like that place, the misty. I really like it. So I took this view. I really enjoyed it.
Right. Great. Beautiful.
Again, this is also the same. This is the main reason why I took the cloud.
Nara, one second. Is there there's some bandwidth issue or something? Maybe your voice is breaking a little bit.
Right.
Uh,
Oh,
uh,
and I have. Is it clear now?
yeah, it is better. I think, yeah, it is better
Okay.
now.
Maybe I think I'm little going back. Bluetooth may have a problem. Okay, I'll come little close. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is also from Somori. Early morning, maybe around 5:30 or something like that. The main purpose of this is because of the cloud pattern. The sun was somewhere, I don't know where the sun is, but the cloud was so much of glowing.
Beautiful.
Reflection is also, you can see that on the ground, on the water.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Very
that is what really I really like that whole thing. So atmosphere.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is from Key Monastery, Key Valley. It's a very long exposure shot. Almost must be 2 minutes or more than that. So actually, what happened is, like Key Monastery, we know how the view is. So I wanted to take the full Key Monastery with the mountains and everything.
Right.
So we had to climb a little bit away from via Key Monastery. Had to go via Key Monastery, a little bit climb away. From a high point, there was one cement slab kind of a thing was there. I think seems to be used frequently by the locals for some grazing and other things. So from there, I really found the place. Really gave me a full landscape, full view of the whole of the river, everything. And especially I used the long exposure for one of the main reasons is I want to capture the cloud movement. So that is where the cloud movement, when you are using the 2 minutes exposure, the cloud movement, you can see that kind of a blurry thing. So that is why I really expose. Otherwise, if you don't use a long exposure, still you will get a really very good shot of.
Beautiful. And what time was it?
It could be sun. See, this place is actually a valley, so sun would have already raised. It must be 6 or 6:30. Must be something around, because the sun will be coming from the behind. So already it would have somebody just rise in, and it is just getting directly onto the mountain.
Yeah. What about this one?
This is from Kaziranga. Again, the early morning. Actually, this is taken from elephant. In Kaziranga, you can go for elephant ride. This is one of the few places where early morning they take around 5 o'clock. You have one elephant ride is there. And advantage of going with elephant is you can see rhinos sometimes very closely.
Right.
So it was in month of January. So you could see so much of mist also on the background. And this field is something I really like, that there is one small red or the purple flower with a kind of with a green and other things. I really like the place. So So it is taken from a elephant view. So you can see the view. You can see from the top angle. You can see the thing.
Beautiful. Very nice. And can you please tell us a little bit about how you process this picture?
Yeah, this processing here, one tricky issue in this problem because of this is even the flower part is a little misty actually. So what I have to do is specifically on the flower and the surrounding green area alone, I have to do a little bit of selectively. I chose selectively. I did a little bit of dodging to enhance it, to bring out the colors and the brightness. So rest of the thing I kept as it is.
Okay. This is very interesting.
This is from Rameshwaram.
Okay.
This is one of the pictures which I also exhibited sometime back, some 3 years back. Me and other two people, we were doing a joint exhibition in Chennai, in print exhibition in Chennai, in Dalit Kala. So at the time, my team was, so I was using this photo. Basically, why I really liked, why I took this picture is, I was looking that theme was more on time, exposing the time. So I had various pictures showing the movement of water, movement of wind, something like this. And this picture brings both the things together. This is again a long exposure, 30 seconds. You can see the boat actually. Actually, it was somewhere in the tide because of the constant flow of the water flow being, it was a little shallow, and there was also heavy wind. The boat was also always moving, and that gave me a kind of a writerly effect in that whole thing. So basically, it's 13 seconds, 30 seconds exposure, and the sky is. I wanted to show only the curvature of the water. I'm not very keen on the showing the sky because there's nothing interesting at the time. So there are no clouds or anything. So it was taken from tilting the camera towards the water side.
So how do you decide on the composition when you go to a place like this? Because it's very unique composition, and that boat is really very interesting.
I think I should say I am lucky. That's all I should say, because at the time boat was there. There nobody, no fisherman, nobody was there, and it was a very where there is no disturbance for us. Me and one of my friends, we were only two people who were there. This somewhere in Danushkodi, someplace in Danushkodi. So the composition wise, I should say, because I had already had something in my mind, because I wanted to work on because it's a theme of exploring time. So I want to work on this part, how to put that water that when the boat was there, then it added me an idea of why not we mix both wind and the wind part and the water part together as a part of the thing. That is where the whole thing triggered me. It came just like on the moment on the field. I got an idea. Okay, let me execute it. And given that there is no sky here, so I had to work showing only on the ground part, because there's no. If I try to put sky, it will become overexposed when you go for a 30 seconds. So there is nothing. That will be very boring shot. So I made a point of, even I tried it, that I didn't like it. So what I did is so I got a little bit fixed so that I can cover only this area.
Great. Now we are still having some issue with your voice quality. Is there any other headphone that you can use or something?
At the moment, I don't have. I think this is the only thing I can do.
Okay, fine. We'll continue then. No,
we'll continue. Okay, yeah.
Because your voice is not clear. Something.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Please tell us about this one.
This is from Jim Corbett, from Tikala. What was happening is the elephant in the right tusker, which is alone. Tusker is always, mostly it will be alone. It will not be with a group. Other is some set of family, and they have a small bit of they are going from maybe the other sisters, daughters, the this right side elephant was actually coming. It was meeting the bigger, the larger elephant, maybe a mother. They were equally, each one are showing the mutual kind of wailing their trunk. Then it started to move away. That is where I like the cross, that X cross. I really liked it. So this was again taken with 200 500 and with 200 mm, around 200 or 300 mm focal length. So this is what I was telling you. If I am using only the 500 mm, I will not be able to get this composition. Because I was using 200 500 mm, I was able to make a composition where we can work on this X part and everything I can work. Otherwise, I would have taken only the one small area of this. I would have lost a lot of information. So that is why that's why this is one of the places, early stages of my adopting to 200 500. I started seeing the good results. After that, I kept it as my permanent lens.
Okay. Great. Oh, I absolutely love this picture.
This is from. This is basically agama, what you say, toe-headed agama. It's like a kind of a lizard family. This desert national park in Rajasthan, somewhere in Jaisalmer. Basically, these agama, we can closely approach them, take a photograph. But if you go very fast, it will try to run away, or it will go inside the mud. That is the way. When I was taking this, it must be around maybe afternoon, around 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Still, there is a good sky out there, the light is good. And why I was giving this view is because I was not very interested in taking a 7200 and taking a close-up or even a macro lens to show the skin pattern or that kind of thing. I was not very keen. I wanted to give the how the land will look from a point of view of this. That is what my idea is. So here I was using 15 mm Sigma fisheye lens. It's a linear lens. It's not a real fisheye, but it will give you quite a very wide view. So it was lying somewhere. So I had to approach it slowly. I was in the ground, slowly moving step by step, slowly one by a small inch, so that it doesn't getting intimidated. The moment it went, it will run away. Almost after 15 minutes or 20 minutes, it was a little bit comfortable. I think it allowed me to take pictures. Even then, if a small movement is there, it will try to run away. So after some attempts, I was able to get a full picture of both the agama with the desert and sky, everything together.
Right. So this is 15 millimeters. So you must be really close, I guess.
Oh yeah, very, very close. Yeah, maybe if you 1 meter or even something like that. Because these things, we have to work very closely. Because the moment they see too much of movement, very fast movement of ourselves, our camera, it will immediately run away. So we have to crawl in the ground, literally, and very as slow as possible. Actually, you can do that. Maybe it will take some. You have to be a little bit patient. That's all. Yeah, otherwise, I will not say it's impossible. Otherwise, I don't think I would have taken it. So.
Right. So, what is your favorite genre of photography? So, is it landscapes or is it pictures like this, wildlife?
I would say favorite is nature. I would say nature, not the landscape or
okay.
wildlife. It's a nature.
Okay.
Only thing I would say is in landscape, I am moving more towards very 100 mm, 200 mm like that. The way I am taking the landscape, whereas reverse is happening with the wildlife, where I am more closing towards wider lens. So that is the process happening right now.
Okay. Wow.
This is from Spiti Valley, Kibber National Park.
Right.
This is basically ibis, one loner. This was taken in February in this year. This basically I've been doing this snow leopard thing for the last almost 4 5 years. We always get some snow leopards or the blue sheep and so many things. But this is one thing it was always missing for me. I'm not able to get a good picture of ibis. But on the day, we were very lucky because it was snow was very heavy, and there was many places some kind of snowflakes were happening. Morning snowing was there. So much snow happening. But evening around I think 5 o'clock or something, 4:30 to 5. In one of the Khyber, after the near the Khyber, near the Cheecham Bridge, when coming to Khyber, we saw this guy suddenly coming up, from the climbing and slowly coming up. And we were very lucky, I should say, because there are nobody, not much of people, or even there are no other ibis also there. It's almost a fully grown ibis, adult. So you can see from the horns, it's from the kind of a ring that shows the old, how much aging it has happened. Maybe 12 to 15 years, like that. And it was slowly moving. Actually, it is trying to come across this snow and get down to the mountain. And the road path is right, as it is crossing and it is moving. That's the way it was happening. And I was able to get a very good shot of this ibis. The sun is just exactly opposite. So we are just behind me. So you can see the shadows, even you can see the glow of the in the eyes also. I would say it's perfect, and you are lucky also.
Right, very nice. So for a shot like this, you said that you wanted a shot like this. So do you pre-visualize what you want, what kind of shots you want?
I would say not the pre-visualize. I want a good photograph of ibis. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Maybe with a good lighting or something. But I don't know how it should come or how I have no idea.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it just happened.
Wow.
Yeah. This is from Tadoba National Park. This sometime in 2013 or 14 I would have taken. I think, as you know, Tadoba is known for its tiger. So while actually searching for a tiger, it must be in March end or April. That is the time. Because that is the time you can see the peacock also hitting the mating season in Tadoba area. So you see that you can see that male, and actually you can see the female also behind that. This was taken from a pendulum from a very far away distance. That's why I'm able to get the flow of the light and also the whole space, the whole of the tree cover, everything. So I was able to get that because there's something. Sometimes you will be able to get this kind of a picture. That's why in wildlife, luck plays a major role. So I think I should say I'm lucky in a way.
Wonderful. Beautiful picture.
Thank you.
So how many shots did you take in this situation, and why did you choose this one out of that whole lot?
Possibly, see, it was a dancing. Slowly, it was dancing.
Okay.
So we were also in a jeep, maybe a little far away. So possibly I would have taken maybe 20 to 30 shots of a similar thing. It would have been very similar movement here and there like that, to the left or to the right. This one, I really like. One of the reason is at least it is very straight to the viewer. So it is not maybe perpendicular to the viewer. So that way it gives a better perspective of the whole scenario.
Okay, great. And what kind of processing have you done to this picture?
Processing, I don't think I would have done much of the processing because basically what I have done is like to make sure that the backplate spot is properly exposed. That is the only thing I should do. So I would have applied a certain level of darkening to that area so that you get the details and you get the glow. The other part is part of the natural thing. It's setting itself. So I don't really need to worry about it. The shadows, the dark, all these things. It's all because of the light, because of the jungle. So I am already getting everything else. So only thing I need to do is the feather part of the peacock alone I need to take care of.
Right. This is generally people say that you should shoot people or birds or anything from the front where you can see the face, but this is one picture where you are shooting the subject from behind and it looks really good. So
Uh,
very
yeah, I
nice.
think yeah, I think we have a lot of myths in the way in the wildlife in many places, like how we should do, what we should not do. Basically, you should look whether whatever you take, whether it brings the beauty or not. That is the main criteria I think you should apply, not the nothing else. So if it brings some certain kind of beauty, yeah, take it. That's it.
Right, beautiful light.
Yeah. This is mainly I took it for the because of the light. This is from what say? This also from I think it's not in the Bikaner. This area is from the Bikaner area. You will see the lot of Himalayan vultures and in this area. You can see them. It's a big, huge habitat. You can see the vultures are one of the where if you want to do good vulture photograph, you should go to these places. And this is the early morning, maybe 6:30, not 6:30, maybe 7:30, where the golden light is coming up. So basically, I am not more interested in taking from the light. So I am behind the light. So I am taking against the light. I am taking it. So that way I am able to get the glow of the whole of the thing. What actually is happening is the vultures, they are waiting for the sun to come so that once the sun is come, they get heated up. They can also start flying, they are moving. Until then, in the early morning or even the late night, it will be very cold in the desert area. So you know that. So morning when the sun rises only, they are all getting warmed up. So they are all just waiting for a good sun. They don't unless we try to go very close, they don't fly away. So they will keep themselves warm. This must be taken. I would have taken with my 200 finder, possibly with the 500 mm 500 mm focal length, or I think 400 mm focal length I have taken. So the glow was the main area I think, and I also want to show the little bit of upper atmosphere, how the environment will look like it. So that is my composition here.
Right, beautiful.
Yeah, this is from Masai Mara. This one I have used my Pentax 645 medium format.
Okay.
So basically, the medium format. With this, there is something called 155 mm, 150 mm tele lens. Basically, actually, it's a manual lens. The 155 mm means it could be equivalent to 200 mm for our 35 mm camera system. So the advantage of having the Pentax is, even though it is a 200 mm, you can bring a lot of environment into your picture. So this is something currently I really started enjoying, where you bring both the wildlife as well as the space for a lot of the environment space also. Both the things you can work on it. If you try to use the any of our normal Nikon or Canon 35 mm camera, you will lose lot of sight, and your foreground also you will be having too much of foreground, or you will not be getting the whole top also you will not be able to get it because of the limitation of the sensor. And the 645 is a medium format, so I have 4 by 5 crop, so I'm able to get everything in my thing. I really started liking this kind of work because I wanted to show environment in the wildlife. So this helps.
Right.
This kind of a camera helps me.
Beautiful. There's some trouble with your voice. I think a lot of people are saying.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So can you join from a phone or something, or on from your mobile phone?
Yeah, maybe I will try. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll try.
So let us see if that
Yeah.
works.
Okay. I will, just give me a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah, and in the meantime, maybe yeah. So in the meantime, maybe I'll just if you have any questions, you can just type in the comments box. Okay, so Nara will be happy to answer your questions, and yeah, of course, yeah. And yeah, there's a subscribe button below, so please subscribe to this channel. We keep doing this kind of sessions, so please subscribe to the channel to get some more idea on what we are doing. And yeah, so I think we'll just get started. And the other thing is, if you have any kind of suggestions who you want us to have in this show, yeah, please let me know, because I'm always looking out for people who are very inspiring. So if you have some suggestions, please let me know. I'll be happy to have them in this program.
கொஞ்சம் வால்யூம் ஏதாவது பிரச்சனையா இருக்கு போட்டிருக்கு உனக்கு.
I have sent you the.
போட்டோ வர மாதிரி தெரியுது. ஆமா அது இதாவது இங்கே நான் வெளில
Yeah. Sorry for this trouble. So I think things will be okay. So let us see. And thank you for your patience. Yeah, it's really sometimes it happens. You can't avoid things like this. But I hope you are enjoying this. So at 6 we have another program where a student of mine, a girl, college-going girl, and she does a lot of self-portraits. So by self-portrait, I don't mean selfies. So she sets up the camera on a tripod, and then she takes pictures. And she has taken some amazing pictures. So we'll see how she does that. And tomorrow we have again two sessions, very inspiring. One is Kedar Bhatt from Pune. He was a press photographer, but now he does a lot of landscape. He leads a lot of photo tours. So, and we have Ujwal. Ujwal is again a wildlife photographer. So quite similar to Nara's work that you will see. So it's a lot of wildlife photography. Yeah, and again, if you have any suggestions, anybody who would you would like to have in this program, please let me know. We'll definitely have. And thank you for your patience. Those sometimes it happens like this. We actually do a test before the show, but sometimes, maybe it's because of some issues, it happens like that. So yeah. So thank you once again for your patience. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Wired headphone will definitely be little better. So, and if you have any questions that you want to ask to Nara, so you can just type in any settings or in anything that you want to ask. I can see you have already asked a few questions. I'm definitely going to take those questions in some time. So let's see. Just let's wait for Nara for a couple of minutes. Hopefully he'll be back, and we should be able to continue. And if you have any more suggestions that about the sessions that you're doing, if you're happy with the format, or if you want some changes, any suggestions, please do let me know. And so in the meantime, maybe I'll just show Nara's pictures that he has taken, the ones which we are going to talk about now. So I'm just going to show them to you, so that you can just see them what to expect now. So his black and white pictures are also really amazing. So we'll also talk about a little bit of printing, why printing is required. He has uh, a startup which deals on printing archival prints in Chennai. So we're going to talk a little bit about why printing is something very important that you like to do. So see some very magical landscapes that he has done. Even for wildlife, he has used black and white, and maybe I'm going to ask this question. So I asked this question to everybody. So how do you choose which one to have in black and white or in color? So you see, even his black and white pictures have so much of character and dimensions. Beautiful. I wonder how he went this slow and have taken these pictures. absolutely amazing, beautiful. Yeah, I moved to Mumbai. I came to Mumbai yesterday. So we are in a new house. So we could actually hardly stay in a new house. We have been traveling quite a lot, and then lockdown happened, and then I got stuck in Surat in the village. But we had a really good time here. But sometimes all good things have to come to an end. So yeah, so here we are again in Mumbai, and probably you can see my picture quality got better now. I'm connected through a DSLR, so I'm using my uh, Z6 as the camera. Okay, yeah, just a second. So I have a better setup here, but so I'm so glad I was able to do a lot of things from there. So that was really good. So we are having all the trying to have people from all the different genres of photography. So we had landscape. Landscape is my personal favorite, and then we had people from all different wildlife and trying to bring in people from all different genres. So if you have any kind of suggestions, please, I'll be happy to have people in here. So, and I'm going to continue this beyond the lockdown as well. So, and because I'm getting a lot of, I mean, people are appreciating and they find it helpful. So I think it's good to continue, and it's a good thing for me as well. You see, sitting in that in home and this is the only way to my. It's probably my window to the outside world. I should say so. Just a second. I'll have to tell Nara to join via the Zoom link. Hi, Nara. Yeah, hi, Nara. Can you hear me? You have to give access to your mic. I think. Yeah, access to the mic has not been given. I guess. Thank you once again for your patience, everybody. So I appreciate it a lot. So
It's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, Nara, you can. You have to give access to your mic. I think you can leave and join once again. So your mic is not given access. Oh, thank you. Oh, what is thanks a lot. I'm glad you are finding it helpful. Yeah, so I'm good. So this is a great way actually to for me to talk to a lot of people, and for you people to get introduced to some very interesting and very inspiring people who have been doing some great work. So uh, you can Nara, you can leave the meeting and join once again, and please give access to your mic. So that's how it will work. Oh, yeah, I'll be visiting Hyderabad very frequently once the lockdown is over. So yeah. Okay, so in the meantime, let me ask this question to you. So we have all this picture that Nara showed us. So maybe you can just tell us which one is your favorite picture. Out of all this picture, which one do you think is your favorite? So please let me know in the comment box. So I'm just showing you the thumbnail so that you can see them, and let me know which one you think is the best out of the whole lot. Yeah. I think you are not giving access to the mic, Nara. So your mic is muted. Okay, so Sudhanshu is saying number 12 is very good. Okay. Yeah, now it is connected. Yeah. Nara, can you hear me? Yeah. Nara, I think it's okay now. Okay, can you just speak? Okay, so we have some people. You say everybody has a different favorite, so that's a very interesting thing to note here. Okay, so Ratna is saying that the second image from Mahabalipuram is her favorite, while okay, Rahul is saying for me the first one is magical. Okay, and the elephants in Corbett, Dr. Nitin is saying, and yeah. So you see, okay, so there are two people who are saying number 12. Okay, yeah, I really like this image, and this is something which probably is very, very difficult to replicate. You see, when you even if you have all the gear and all the skills, it all is a matter of chance to get something like this. Yeah, Nara, I can hear you. I think. Can you speak, please? Yeah, hi, Nara. Yeah,
Hi.
yeah. This is perfect. Okay,
Okay.
great, awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for your patience once again. So we will go through the black and white pictures. Great.
Yeah. Sorry, Saurabh, and
No, no,
everybody.
no,
It's a
no problem.
confusion.
Oh, okay, we are good. And I really, I mean, you don't. You need to thank the viewers. They are still there, so I'm really grateful to everybody. And probably they liked your show very much. They liked your pictures. We were just going through, and I was just asking them which one is their favorite picture. So and then a lot of people said that number 12 is their favorite. So number 12 is a picture of the peacock. So that is favorite of a lot of people. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Nice to hear that.
Yeah. So, okay, Nara, please tell us a little bit about how do you choose whether to have a picture in black and white or color?
This is maybe two way I can say. One is before during the time of photo taking the picture itself, I may say this is I may go for a black and white, or I may go for a color, depending upon the what kind of control I have on the environment.
Okay.
For example, there is a lot of sky is very flat. I may not go for a color picture. I may go for a black and white, where the certain where in the processing I can bring certain details. That is a one way of thing. Sometimes after I take the picture, while I am sitting and processing, I will go for a color or black and white depending upon the which I like. Basically, I try something in black and white, put it in a black and white, and see how it will look good.
Okay.
And if it is something interesting, I'll go for a black and white. Otherwise, I'll switch to color.
Okay.
It's a goes. I would say 50-50. I would say.
Okay. Great. So, and where was this picture taken? This was in Bharatpur.
Yeah. This was from Bharatpur.
Okay.
In Bharatpur, especially if you go in the August, September,
Yeah.
that is the time where you will see a lot of rain happening in those areas. So you will see that is something where you will see a lot of because of the rain, you will see the green and you will see the shadow and everything. This is something typically in Bharatpur. It's known for the birds. I was sometime in 2016. I went to Bharatpur in 2 or 3 seasons. One is during the time of monsoon. One is after the monsoon, something around October, November or something. Then as well as again at the Feb or something. And this picture I took in during the month of September. Basically, what I really liked is the reflections. I think it's not a September. Even it should be even much before that. It's because I like the reflections of the water, and because that reflection, what makes this picture something very interesting, and it also gives a kind of abstract feeling also. So that is where the one of the reason why I went for the even black and white is also that the same thing, because the water reflection, the colors, all these things you can come easily. You can get these things very much in black and white than in the color. Sometimes color you don't feel the bright part that when you will be losing it. So there is not much of information here. There is a lot of green around, but otherwise there is not much of the things I can show in color. But black and white gives you the different mood here.
Right. So what is your favorite time to go to Bharatpur? You said you have been there several seasons, so I'm really curious to
see. That depends on what you want to photograph.
Okay.
See, if you want to photograph something like say say pelicans, all these things, where it is coming to the habitat, getting the good habitat, you should go sometime in Feb. Because the Feb is a season where in the Bharatpur you will not find much of the mist. You will see a very clear sky, and you also get a very good birds and habitat pictures, all these things. But if you go in sometime in December or till Jan second week, you will see a lot of mist. Especially December 2nd, after December 3rd, 2nd or 3rd week. I generally like the mist pictures. So my favorite time to the Bharatpur would be around some December 3rd week to January 2nd week, where I get the birds and or even the mammals like a spotted deer, all these things in a background of a lot of mist will be there. That kind of a background I really like. That kind of a mood I really like. So my time will be something in this period. But as a habitat, you want to get the good documentary of birds, all these things, you should do possibly sometime after the Republic Day. Where after Republic Day, that is January 26th or 30th, the mist is started to recede from all of the Delhi and northern India. So you will get a good quality picture.
Great. Beautiful.
Yeah. This is from Ooty Lake. Because this one, again, sometime in Jan, first week I have taken this. Basically, the sun is just rising. You see so much of mist is coming up. All these things are happening. This one I took with my Pentax medium format. Basically, I went with the medium format basically because I did wanted to have the good where I can bring both the sky part as well as the water part, everything on the focus. And when I go for a normal 35 mm, I'll be losing either one of these. So to avoid that, I used here the Pentax medium format camera.
Great. Beautiful.
This is from Spiti Valley, sort of. Again, this is sometime must be in late September. I would have taken that.
Right.
Where late September. Now I think late September. In the evenings, you get the very gloomy sky and all these things. Basically, I went for a black and white for a simple reason is the sun is covered with the kind of sky, and there is not much of the bluishness in the sky. So there is no point in showing them in the color. Even the mountains also, you don't see in September, you don't see much of the colors in the mountains also. So it was a little kind of a dry, and it must be around 5 or 5:30. So you will see the glowing water also there. So all these things made me to work on the black and white. Possibly these photographs, possibly after I had taken only, I would have decided to. I decided to go to the black and white mode because color is not giving me the right justification.
Right. So while taking the picture itself, you decide that you are going to process it like this, or when you come back home, you see that.
See, sometimes I know what should be done during the taking the picture itself. I know, but for example, in these pictures, I know that I want to bring the water, that color. I want to the brightness. I want to make sure that it has to be best. So while taking the picture itself, I try whatever the best exposure I can go. But sometimes it will not going to work, or it may not be sufficient also. So during the time, I know, okay, for this would be, I know this will be one of my favorite picture. This is something we know. This is something what we really like. So I also will be able to say, okay, where I really work in this kind of picture. At least in this picture, I know what I should do even at the time of photographing itself.
Okay. Great. Beautiful.
This is something the birds. See, while in wildlife, actually, over a period of time, I started moving away from the species-specific photography. Like, for example, in my early stages of wildlife, I go to all these national park, and then I have a bird list, what I saw, what I didn't see, all these kind of things I used to have. In last 7 or 8 years, I lost that kind. I don't find those kind of things. I'm not finding it interesting. I'm not very much worried how many birds I have seen, how many mammals I have seen, what I should see, what I should not see. Those kind of things I am not very keen. But whereas I am more interested on to bringing the photograph, which I think will be which challenges me creatively, which gives me certain kind of artistic feel to me. That is where my thinking process has started
Okay.
differently over a period.
Okay. Great. Great. Okay. So, Nara, one question I would like to ask you is, why do you think printing is necessary? So, you have started a company where you are printing archival print. So, in this era where you have very good screens available, so why do you think printing is still very necessary?
Okay. I would say one simple thing is whatever the uh, screens you have, unless you have a 8K or maybe a 4K, you will not be able to get the best details in the screen. So what we see in our internet, or most of the time it is only a 72 dpi. So you are already losing a lot of sharpness, lot of contrast details, all these things. That is one part. Apart from that, I would say the one of the major thing why we should go for a printing is, if you are serious into photography, you want to improve your art, improve your craft, basically, you should start doing the printing. You don't need to go for a very high quality things like that. You take the photograph, select some pictures, do the quick printing. See, when you see in the paper format, you will start seeing the mistakes very openly, very clearly. When you see in the monitor, actually a lot of things distracts you. Even the brightness of a monitor distracts your overall image. Even a dust spot will look very obvious in the print. Yeah, a camera dust spot. I have a lot of times sometimes some client comes to me for the printing. This is one thing I notice. You will see the small dust which they are not able to see in their monitor because the brightness is too much like that. The moment I see that, I will say I will change this, I that. And another thing is, when you get into the printing, when you see the thing, you will see the suppose some things are cut, all these things, it will become, everything become obvious to you. So from a composition or improvements point of view, I would say always start with the do printing. You don't need to do everything. At least with a low cost, simple, glossy printer, then select some best pictures, maybe a 10 in a year. Maximum you will not get more than 10 in a year. Do a good quality printing. Keep it as your, I think.
Right.
So,
Nara, one more question to you regarding printing. Now, a lot of people say that I edited the picture in some way and it looks very different in printing. So there's a mismatch between what people see in their monitor and what people get in print. So how do you think you can bridge the gap and make it as close to what people see with your eyes in the monitor?
actually, see, the one thing, so this, or what your question is very valid. I would say there are two main things. One is, most of the people will not have the right calibrated monitors. So what they see in their monitor, what kind of colors they get, may not be really the real colors. Actually, when you look into a good calibrated monitor, it may look very different also. That is the one part. Second part is, when you look, the color space of a monitor is very different from the color space of a printer, paper. Okay, actually the paper's color space is comparatively smaller than the Adobe RGB color space. So you will find certain things different in a print. That is the one part. Third part, which is most important, is when you see in a monitor, monitor is actually, it is creating a light for you. So a lot of things will look very bright. Even your black also will look in a different way. But when you look it in the paper, it is a reflection. The light reflects there. So everything will be in a very different way. So you have to really work with if you want to do a printing, the printer has a big job where he has to make sure that he is able to bring back the colors and all the things in a more acceptable way. That is the job of the printer.
Right. Great. So I'll take a few questions, Nara.
Okay, yeah, no
people
problem.
who have asked. So Varis is asking, in wildlife photography, if the subject is too far and if I am shooting with a 500mm tele lens, how to use flash and get the catch light in the animal's eyes. Flash works only at a shutter speed of 1 by 250th of a second.
Yeah, actually, you cannot use the flashlight. You have to do with the what is available at that time. So
Right.
in wildlife, even with a 500 mm, whether even if you are using 800 mm or 1000 mm, beyond a point when the subject is far away from its optimum focal distance, you are not going to get the right image, and the light is not favoring you. Especially on the, even if you are very long, you will not be able to get the whole thing in a proper way. So best is you avoid using those kind of. That is the best thing I would say.
Okay. Okay. Vivek sir is asking Tadova Peacock, what filter was used which gave that yellow hue?
There is no filter in this. It is all normal 500 mm. That's a very 500 mm. The color is coming such a way because I am using a backlight. There is a lot of shadow in the background on the because of the trees and other things. So because of this, you get that kind of glow. That's a natural color.
Okay. Okay. So Vivek sir is asking another question. So Guru Dongmar Lake, would you suggest grading the sky to make a non-flat horizon? Seeking for your ideas, please.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So for the Guru Dongmar picture, would you
Uh,
suggest grading the sky to make a non-flat horizon?
in the sense, non-flat horizon means how maybe can you little elaborate that part?
Okay, Vivek sir, maybe you can clarify. Even I'm not able to understand a little bit. Okay, so Ishwar sir is asking this question: how come the sun is clearly at one spot in such a long exposure? I think he's talking about that picture of that long exposure with the rocks in Mahabalipuram.
That is very far away. Possibly, even that's a good question. Even I don't know why it is happening. Only possible answer I could see is it is slowly rising up. You are not able to see the movement. That is what I can say. But even then, if you closely watch, actually you can see the blurry movement in the of the sun. You can see that blurry movement.
Okay.
So that blurry movement, it's not so fast, so it is able to get that.
Okay. Okay. Great. Okay, so Rahul is asking this question about fine art prints and the choice of paper. So how do you choose what kind of paper you want to use for fine art prints?
That depends. That comes from the more by experience. So two things is what kind of photos that is coming. Say if it is a landscape or a wildlife or a portraiture, those kind of, that is a one set of a thing, or the architecture something. Another thing is what kind of effect the client or customer wants. Sometimes what will happen is like certain kind of papers will give you a smooth thing. Something will have a very rough surface. The rough surface is very good if you have a picture where the cloud don't have much of information. If a cloud is flat, when you put it in a glossy or even a very smooth thing, it will look very dull. But whereas when you put the same thing print in a rough surface, because of the surface of the paper itself is rough, it will add a kind of information to the cloud as though you feel like some cloud has some details in the cloud like that. So that gives that kind of a feeling. These possibly there is no easy or fixed rules or formula to say which is good or which is not good. It comes more by the experience and trying it out differently.
Okay. So you were suggesting everybody to start printing. So now, if somebody wants to start printing, what kind of paper would you suggest for the beginning? So,
if they want to see, that is two things. If you want to learn, that's a different thing. If they want to do just a quick printing, they can go for local labs, do the small 5x7, those kind of things, so that they can learn how the whole thing will look. Okay, that is one thing. But if they want to learn the printing, all these things, that is a little lengthy process. You have to start from the right paper, right printer, and you don't need to spend too much. But at the same time, you should not spend too less also. It's a mix of things. So depending on what kind of things they want, we can give an idea.
Okay. All right. So, okay, I think those were the questions we had. Maybe we have some time, so I'll just go through some of the more pictures we had.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So these pictures, it's so interesting that you made them into black and white, and then still they look so good.
Thanks, Sol. Yeah. Basically, both the pictures I did black and white for one of the reasons is I really like the blue and the blue sky with the white cloud. Actually, in the color, it looks too much of washed out. The white looks more washed out because of the blue and the contrast. So I thought maybe black and white would be a better choice for this picture. That is one of the reasons why I went. And this photograph I have taken with my Pentax medium format, and the main purpose is to show the scale of the land. So that is why you see the lot of sky is available in the top. So that is a big idea.
Right. So Nara, which is that one place that you would like to go after the lockdown is over?
It should be Himalayas.
Himalayas. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can see you have not shot a lot of pictures in Chennai, or probably you don't didn't send them to me.
Yeah, I think I may not have. See, I have taken a lot. Maybe in the initial stages, I have taken most. I was in and around Chennai only.
Okay.
A lot of wildlife, things like that. But slowly, the kind of work I started moving, I thought, okay, I moved out of Chennai. That's what I should say.
Okay.
Psychologically, I have moved out of it.
So, what are your future plans with respect to photography? What else do you want to do?
Future plan is something very difficult. Even I should say, like maybe I am more looking on the now I am started getting the photography from a project point of view. Like project means sequence of the pictures based on a theme. That is something what interests me. So it is not going to be a single picture or this kind of a thing. So it is going to be a sequence. When I say flowers, it will be some 20 flowers over a period of time, maybe with the different techniques. It could be those kind of things. That is what I am looking. Maybe second thing will be like documenting how the documentation can help the whole society. That is something the next future I'm just exploring those kind of areas.
Okay. Okay. So Vivekananda sir has a very interesting question. So he's saying that the new generation photographers are reluctant to print and are satisfied with their monitors. So the closure of many printing labs due to this increase in mobile photography. Do you think printing will survive?
Yeah, I feel it has its own attraction crowd. Okay, see, I don't think it is going to lose its business because the kind of a new technology which Epson or Canon coming with the printer, if you look, because they are investing because there is still a big market itself. You have a whole lot of inkjet printers, whole lot of fine art papers. They are coming with new ideas. So I will not say it is going to. I think it's a smaller. Maybe for after a few years, again people will come back to the printing. For a simple reason is like whether you take it in mobile or thing, you lose the pictures over a period of time.
Right.
So that is where the printing will again come, because when you start losing it, even if you keep it in your hard disk can crash, or over a period of time your JPEG, some of the file formats may change, and you have to do all the changes. But when you put it in a physical format, you can easily give it to your next generation. So it will again come up. It may take a while, but it will come up again.
Okay. Great. So, Nara, one last question to you. So, what are your tips that you want to give to aspiring photographers?
First is, I should say, do a lot of field work. Spend more time on the field. less time and money for the viewers. Don't worry too much about the technicalities of the camera, lens, all these things, whether it can do 0.4 mm or a 1.8 or 1.2 for all these things. Beyond a point, actually, there's no need. For all my pictures, I would have taken most of my landscape would be from a 7.1 or 8, even though I may be using a 2.8 lens or even some smaller things like that. So don't really get into those kind of gears, all these things, but spend more time on the understanding the what the pictures are, how it should look. Reading a lot of books is the most important thing. When I say books, not only the photography books, you should go beyond photography books. Other areas also we should explore, like art painters, work of the painters, even literature. All these things help us to, as a person, to evolve. That is where your work will take you to the next level. So this is the three major things I should say. And fourth is, I would say, move from a single image to go for a project, small project. It may be a theme based, because themes will give you a more creative thought process. It will push you to the next level. So this is what I would say.
So great. It was great talking to you, Nara, and I had a really great experience going through your pictures. So, and yeah, and of course, the interruption was there, but I think, and thanks to everybody who started, who were there sticking around, but I think we had a great session with you. Thank you for sharing all the knowledge that you have gained over the years, and yeah, if you want to have any last words, then please.
Thanks, Saurabh, for this session. I think I really enjoyed it. Yeah, even I didn't expect this Bluetooth things go back.
Yeah, they're all learnings for me as well. Yeah. Great. Anyways, thank you so much, and maybe I'll probably meet you soon once the lockdown is over.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks to everyone. Thanks.
Thank you.